Hi, thank you for purchasing your new ZipDrain. Today we're going to show you some tips and tricks on how to use the ZipDrain along with the contents of your case when you receive it in the mail. Okay, when you receive your ZipDrain, this is what it should look like. You will have a plastic case in here, and inside the case is an extra rubber washer, some nylon washers, a brass friction ring, and an extra retaining clip for the drill bit extension. Along with that, you have a 5/16 nut driver, your 2-inch discharge hose with 2-inch cam locks. Okay, along with that, you also receive a 2-inch return hose, and this just connects to your pump. And this is what the hose we connect to our discharge hose to pump everything back in. One 34-inch safety strap, your ZipDrain instructions, along with a water chart, and the water chart pretty much explains to you how many gallons per vertical foot, or actually the water chart explains to you how many gallons of water equal PSI per vertical foot, and also explains to you how much water you can expect to get out of a sewer, along with a full bathtub, or you know, adding in any fixtures that you have that are backed up. You will also receive your 3 ZipDrain heads that come along with your rubber inserts. So your 6-inch head will do 6-inch PVC cast iron, and then it'll do 5-inch cast iron with the insert. Your 4-inch will do 4-inch PVC, 4-inch cast iron. Again, this comes with a rubber insert. You will receive your 3-inch head. This will do copper or PVC, 3-inch. All of your heads come with a high torque stainless steel clamp. You will receive a 2 1/4-inch hole saw, your drill bit extension. Now on our drill bit extension, we do have a hex nut on here to ensure that this stays nice and tight. We found that by putting a hex nut in here, the little Allen key that's always in these doesn't work real well in a water situation. So with this hex nut, you won't have any of those problems. Inside your ZipDrain body, you will have another 3-inch rubber washer. And then of course, a 2-inch PVC ball valve and a 2-inch cam fitting. Now on the back side of your ZipDrain, you have this brass hex nut, nylon washer, brass friction ring, and then you have your retaining ring on here. Okay, now we're going to show you how we attach our 4-inch head onto our cast iron overhead. So because this one sticks out a little further, you're going to grab on right here. So you put your head on, make sure you're pretty centered, and then you would just with your nut driver tighten this clamp up. Make sure you're secure. Now when doing so, after you tighten this clamp, you'll let this rubber relax a little bit. Prior to drilling, which we'll go over, you will tighten this clamp some more as the rubber relaxes. Now we're going to attach our ZipDrain body to the 4-inch head. So you'll take your 2 1/4-inch hole saw and you'll just guide it in by hand. Make sure you get to you'll be able to see you get to your stop there, to the cap. Clamp it down with the cam arms. you'll close your valve. Okay, on your drill bit extension prior to drilling, make sure you have your nylon washer, your brass friction ring, your brass nut tightened hand tight, and your retaining clip to ensure that your drill bit doesn't go in too far. Once your zip drain's attached, you want to take your safety strap here, connect it on to your zip drain. This ensures more balance when drilling so you don't get so much movement, and just as a little safety precaution to make sure that this doesn't come off, which we've never had it come off. So once your strap's on, you'll take your drill. We're using a 1/2 inch drill here. Attach it to the drill bit extension. At this point you want to make sure your drill is always in forward when drilling. You guys know how to use a drill, but just make sure you're in forward. And at this point then you would tighten up your rubber again, because like I said earlier, it will tend to relax, so tighten it prior to drilling to ensure no leaks. What we're drilling here is a 4-inch brass cover, and we just go at a little bit lower speed so that we don't burn out our hole saws as fast. If there is a little bit of leak, you would just snug this up by hand. Same thing with the head. If there's a little bit of a leak, you would just then snug it up a little bit with your nut driver, and you should be good to go. Once you drill through the cover and you pull this back, you want to then disconnect your drill, just so you don't have all that weight on there. So you're clear of the 2-inch discharge. Okay, so once you've drilled through, you're going to attach your 2-inch discharge hose. Clamps right on. Open your valve. Discharge into your can, or some people might connect it to a pumper truck. If your can's full, you would simply close your valve, switch your hose, and then open your valve. Okay, so when you're drilling PVC, you have to use the rubber insert, and that just pushes right inside your head here. Just want to make sure it goes all the way into the stop and go onto your PVC. So in certain instances, maybe not on PVC, but on a cast iron, on a bolty, you can move this clamp in a little to ensure that you're grabbing on something round. Or in a hot, you could put on a second clamp to make sure that you seal good. Okay, so we're gonna drill this PVC cover right now. When you're attaching your 4-inch head, you just want to kind of make sure that you're centered on the plug, and that just assures that it drills a little easier.
So when drilling PVC, you want to drill through at a high RPM so that the drill bit doesn't bind up on the PVC.
Okay, so you can see here we have a 3-inch brass cleanout, and the edge is not rounded. So in this instance, you would want to get past that and get all the way on to the round part of your cleanout. This is to ensure no leaks, and then just tighten this down.
And here's how we remove the PVC cap. We get our vice grips attached through the hole there on the cover. Take our channel locks and simply twist it off. Comes off pretty easy with the vice grips on there. If you don't have vice grips, you can use 2 pairs of channel locks, but that's a little harder.
So with your brass plug here, the way we do it, just the same way you would take a cover off, just cape it out with a hammer and chisel, and then it'll peel right out, and then proceed to ride. So we found that if you're in a finished area, or say you're in a crawl space, the overhead's low to the ground, or in a basement and the overhead's low to the ground, and you can't get a bucket under it when you pull the cover off, what we've learned is that if you just take your discharge hose and the shop vac, and we just use a little bit of duct tape to connect the two together, turn your shop vac on, and you'll actually suck all the water out of the overhead where the cover is still at. So when you pull this head off, you won't get any water on the ground. So we just wanted to show you guys that. Once you've drained the system, you want to make sure that it's empty. And how you can do that is simply just flush the toilet upstairs. If the water comes through to you, you know that you're empty. If it does not, you would take your hole saw, simply reinsert it, because you could have a paper plug here, so you just reinsert it, pull it back out. That will get it to go, and then flush the toilet upstairs.
Thank you for purchasing your new ZipDrain. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to contact us.